Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new video today with my cousin Ayden. Say hi.
Hello.
We're doing this over a phone call. It's easier. Plus, you don't have to hear my PlayStation freaking dying in the background. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the current situation in Tennessee with the Titans, with all of their positive tests of COVID and stuff like that. And since my cousin's a Titans fan, I thought it would be fitting to talk to him about it. So, the Titans had a really good start. Looks like they went 3-0. And they had to postpone the Steelers game that they would have had, I think, last week.
Yeah, they would have had it last week.
Now they moved the Bills game to Tuesday of this coming week. Since there's no more, no new positive tests, which is a good sign. But just overall, what do you think about this situation?
Dude, it's crazy. Like, very, very crazy.
Yeah.
Like, at first, like, when I first heard about it, I was like, okay, well, they're smart. They should be able to, like, get this fixed soon before the Steelers game.
Yeah.
But then once I found out, like, there was going to be more, once I found out there was more positive cases.
There's 23. Currently.
Like, oh, God. Like, that right there, I knew, like, their season's probably going to end because of how many cases there are.
Well, yeah.
Honestly, I don't even know, like, what was the purpose of them getting so many cases. I don't know what happened.
Well, it's pretty safe to say there was an outbreak in Tennessee. Someone was being careless, more than likely. Yeah, everyone's saying I've seen a bunch of, like, articles calling for the Titans just to forfeit their season and let the rest of the NFL go on. And I mean, I don't think that's a fair statement. But Tennessee has been making questionable decisions. Like,
yeah, that happened.
what was it? I saw a case of some Tennessee players practicing at a high school even though they weren't supposed to gather at all. So
I think they were okay with having to gather, just of course, like, not at the what's it called? What's it called? Like, the main facility.
well, look,
And stuff like that. And like I was reading that report too, that post about a couple players going to the high school, and it was saying there, if I remember correctly, saying that they were doing, like, they were being cautious and getting away from each other the entire time that they were just getting away from each other.
well, I have it pulled up right now. I'm trying to find the part. That's crazy though, man. I mean, it was bound to happen, right? Like, some teams were gonna get positive cases. It's gonna happen. It's a big world, but also a small world at the same time. New Orleans had a scare. The Patriots have two of their star players out due to the COVID. Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore. Who else? I don't think anybody else had it yet. I know there's going to be more cases. They're going to pop up more. But Tennessee has 23 cases right now, and that's not really a good thing.
It's not.
Because you don't see any other team that has more than maybe 2 cases at most. And this is in the 32 teams, okay? But, I don't think Tennessee is handling this situation correctly.
They're not. I don't even know, like, because wait, did they say who was the first one that got it, or they just said a player got it?
They just said I think it was a faculty or something, and then it spread to players, and then it spread all over, their staff. So.
Yeah, no, I saw that or something like that, but I thought it was a player at first, but then of course, yeah, like you said, it was probably one of a staff member or something like that.
Yeah. And well, now things are looking great. Got a chance to come back, hopefully bounce back and take another win against the Bills. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. But
yeah, if they would have, like, kept their cases, or if they weren't able to get any kind of cases and they were doing what they were doing before,
Yeah.
then I feel like they would have, like, I would feel more confident about them playing against the Bills. But then now it's like, since they haven't played in like almost 2 weeks now,
Yeah.
it's like I'm like losing confidence slowly because, like, I mean, they haven't played against anyone at all, and they haven't even like done an official practice other than like them having to have like little groups, but like, you know, away from the team.
Yeah. And the Bills are looking pretty good this season too.
Yeah, and I mean, I give them so much credit because like they were low at first, and then like not of this season, but just in general.
Yeah.
You know, they were one of the worst teams, and then now here they are, one of the best, especially with Josh Allen as a 99 overall with a power.
Yeah, I mean, it takes years to rebuild your team.
Oh, yeah.
The Bills have been working at it for a while. And with Cam out, it looks like that division is wide open for now until Cam hopefully comes back, plays better than ever. Same thing with Gilmore. I hope they get a speedy recovery. Same thing with all the Tennessee people that are infected. Same thing with anybody who has the COVID. I hope you guys get a speedy recovery. But this thing is very real. People still say it's a hoax. It's not. People say it's not, like, you know, dangerous. Everyone's, there's a 99.9% survival rate. It doesn't matter, dude. You got to take this thing seriously. You know, all over the U.S.
Anyone can get it.
But besides that, you know, in the NFL wise, players got to be smart. You know, can't be, you know, acting like there's nothing happening when there really is. A lot of people are affected by this thing. If we're not careful enough, the season could be canceled. You know, overall, postponed, canceled. Look at the NBA. It took about maybe
several months,
4 months, maybe 5 months to come back, and it wasn't really a regular season. I mean, it was kind of a regular season. In the bubble, they only invited 22 teams out of the 30. And you know, if things get like they were in Tennessee all over the nation, we could have some big problems, not just sports wise, but, you know, overall. But all it comes down to, bro, is, you know, people being smart. If they be smart and we ride this thing out, hopefully by the end of 2021, maybe, there'll be like no more COVID, you know, like anything. COVID will probably just be like the flu. That's the best case scenario, right? Like get a COVID shot or vaccine every year.
Well, better to be safe than sorry.
And that's why I'm going back to the NFL again. They have a lot of privileges, you know, that regular people don't, right? They get tested almost daily when they go to their facilities. That's their one job, dude, is to play football. They're not working one of these, you know, tough jobs that, you know, everyday people have to work. And yes, I know playing sports is hard for them. They earn their money, they get it, but then again, it's a sport, and you're privileged to be playing a sport during a pandemic, trust me.
Oh yeah, big time, because I mean, it could have been canceled.
Yeah, a lot of high school sports have been canceled or postponed, and, you know, it's not fair to them because that's what they look forward to every year, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's something that just, you know, keeps them going. There's two different types of tests you can take, because you have mouth swab, which is where they have the tooth. Oh, I was gonna say toothpick for some reason. They use the same thing they use for the nasal, but they just stick it down your throat and get a sample.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I know the nasal. I mean, nobody wants to take that test. That's just like
I've seen that. I was watching that NFL Hard Knocks documentary thing, and at the Los Angeles, it was the Rams and the Chargers, and they had those tests, the nasal tests, to get into the facility almost every day, basically. I just hate this. This is our reality right now, man, and we have to live through it.
And it's just terrible. And honestly, it all started, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but in my opinion, it all started off when it came with our president, because he was not cautious right at the spot.
Yeah, he could have. Honestly, he could have prevented a bunch of deaths even.
Yeah,
he
that he could have prevented big time.
Bro,
because
the U.S. should have closed down like in January or February even. We could have caught this thing before it got worse. But he downplayed it. I remember when it first started, he's like, "Oh, these cases is gonna go down in about 3 days to 0." And look at this now, bro.
Look at this. We're already 10 months in, and still cases, still deaths.
Yeah.
Still, things are canceled. Things are now moved until next year. It's like, it's terrible.
Everything's moved to next year, and we don't even know. Next year is in jeopardy just as much as this year, because we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know if we're gonna finish this NFL season. We don't know if high school's gonna have to just go back to online completely, cancel all sports. We don't know if the state's gonna shut down again, bro. This is a crazy thing, and we could have prevented a bunch of these cases if our president took it more serious.
I know, and I'm not gonna lie. What was it? Back in I'm gonna go all the way back to February. Back to February, when I went to state, for Team A, there was one case in San Antonio. Just one case, but that person right away got quarantined right away for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it was scary because, I will admit, it was, we at first I was like, no, there shouldn't be a worry. Yeah. But then what was very crazy after state, it got worse. As soon as state was over, as soon as I got back into town, things immediately started to get worse.
Yeah, man.
And it was just I was just blessed to have at least the opportunity to even go to San Antonio for the entire,
the full experience. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was there for a full week at least, or about a full week.
Yeah.
And that week could have cut short big time. It could have been short, a day or two, or even not even have.
So you don't even go at all. Yeah.
Everything could have been perfect. You would have gone in person for a lot of your classes. I would have been in person for all of my classes too. I could have been working.
Yeah, I struggle with online classes, honestly.
I hate it, dude. And I know anyone who watches this is going to relate that online class is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's something we're going to have to deal with for God knows how long. But, it's something, I'm at least grateful to I'm at least grateful to know that I'm still in school.
Yeah.
I'm able to afford it, and I'm able to at least continue learning to still have my education and to even get my degree, in the future.
And you're also privileged to keep doing what you love, dude, and that's the marching band, man.
Well, it's just everything, just making music in general. And the same thing with you, having the privilege to go to EPCC and still draw and still do all these things.
Yeah, it's a different time though, man. I know we're going off of topic from the NFL here, but we're just talking at this point.
Yeah, the only relative thing to it is just about the cases and stuff, but
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, dude, even at EPCC, we had about a 20 people class, and he split it in half, because we were supposed to go Tuesdays and Thursdays. Our teacher split up our classes, and now it's 10 people on Tuesday and 10 people on Thursday.
I see why he did that, because y'all are inside.
Yeah, we're inside. It's really enclosed environment, which is not really helping.
No, for at least the maximum of 10 people, that's at least fine.
Yeah.
But it's still a big risk. But
we're a huge risk. And
yeah,
going off topic again.
I know you all are cautious about it, so.
Going off topic again, man. Look at me. I'm still out here playing flag football.
Dude, I know, and I'm still having to go out and, because of school.
But the thing is, we're smart about it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Every time we go out, take your mask. The mask is like the least effortless thing you could do, right? Or the most effortless thing you could do. Just throw on a mask. I know sometimes it's hard for you to breathe.
At least you put it after you do a play or something.
Let your nose out and breathe. Take a quick breath. Put it back on. And this is not just for flag football, but for anything you go out. I've seen some people at the stores not wearing masks, and
Dude,
part of
it
me,
makes me so
like,
mad.
part of me takes it in. It's like, I forget that we're in a crisis right now. So I just see it as normal, but then I think about it and I'm like, oh my god, that guy wasn't wearing a mask. And that's crazy that now that's our reality, that we have to wear a mask. And it's not just helping us, it's helping prevent the spread to others and prevent the spread from getting it.
Hmm.
So like, places like, my flag football league, whenever we're out, we got to be wearing masks if we're not in the game. 10 feet away for all spectators at those games from the field. All well, the high school I know of, Del Valle, it's not letting any fans into their games, any of their sporting events, nothing whatsoever.
Yeah,
Just the coaches and the players and the officials.
yeah.
That's it.
Hmm.
And even the school media. That's how, I think Del Valle is streaming the football game right now. That's the only way you could see it outside of being a football player or a coach.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the NFL, these people are taking it seriously. It looks like in Tennessee, going from the start, it looked like they weren't taking it seriously, dude.
And they weren't. I mean, well, when I first looked at it, I mean, they had no fans in the stands. Great.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would look at the videos, like, because like I know, like, they're like some writer for them or something like that, like one of the journalists, like that kind of like keeps an update with the Titans.
Yeah.
He would post videos and stuff
Like
of
a
just
fan
like
page?
of them practicing. Yeah, of just practicing, and I mean, from what I saw, at least from the beginning of the season, they were fine. A lot of them wearing masks under their helmets. They're getting away from each other after each play, and I mean, especially with the coach Mike Vrabel. I mean, he's wearing a mask. He's doing what he needs to do, and of course, I know they need to get into physical contact because it's obviously football. They immediately get away from each other, and then they do their own business and just kind of stay away from each other after that.
That's not really a problem, I mean, yes, you don't want to stay freaking 2 feet away from this guy, but I don't think that's where the problem lies. I think it lies outside of football. Like last week, they played each other. It looked like a normal game out there, but it's just how you take care of yourself outside of football. Because inside, you keep yourself sanitized. You shake hands after the game, whatever. They stopped the jersey swap, which is a little weird. But that's besides the point. After the game, you go back into your locker room, you shower up, clean up, get ready to go, mask up, and get out of there, right? But I don't know. It just seems like the Titans didn't really do that, and I don't think
it had to have been something from outside.
It is definitely. It's just the things that they do outside of football. Maybe they went to a party or that they hang out with family. And that, hanging out with family by itself is a risk already.
It is.
But for most people, that's a risk they're willing to take because that's their family.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're playing for a multi-billion-dollar company, the NFL, those risks hurt you a lot if they
financially,
hit
physically,
you.
mentally, everything.
Because now you have the NFL postponing games for you. Right, the Steelers having to wait another week to play. The Vikings having to get tested completely. That was the last game the Titans played. At least, thank God, the Vikings didn't contract it, which continues their season. It's because you have to look at it. If players from Tennessee test positive, you got to look back at all the teams they played, and the Jaguars, the Broncos. They have to get tested now too because of the Titans players' carelessness. Because you don't know how long he's had it or how long he will get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that leads into who did the Jaguars play? Who did the Broncos play? And it just goes on. And that's what could really honestly end the season if it gets out of hand.
Yeah. And it just because anyone from any team could have had it and could have possibly spread it to someone.
That's how it is. Let's say someone tests positive, and then they give it to another player from another team. So now they have to look back at the teams that they've played before, and it just goes on, and it makes it ridiculous where it shouldn't be like that.
It's almost like it's like for example, not an example, but like it's almost like what you would call it like a COVID diagram. You know, like
Yeah.
one person will have it, and then it'll just spread to this person,
And it just
that
spreads
person
off
will
to,
just spread out.
and that's how it spreads, dude. That's how it spread when
Yeah.
it started.
And it's just like continuous all the time.
And
And, like,
then you throw the season into jeopardy. Like,
not even that, you just throw everyone's lives into jeopardy.
and yeah, I know everyone's lives. That's more important. But since we're on the topic
Yeah.
of the NFL, that's why I said the season.
Yeah.
But besides that, man, before we decide to start wrapping it up, any more thoughts on your Titans just in general?
I am just hoping that they just get things, get their, sorry for my language, get their shit together.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're doing so well with their record 3-0, and like they haven't been undefeated like that in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's like so happy. That's like so amazing to me because I mean, I've seen all the tragedies that they've gone through. They've blown leads. They've messed this up. They've messed that up, and like
They've gone through so
and I know
much.
it's professional, but like
Mhm.
and just having to see that with them this year, I'm just like, holy crap! Like this could be a good
This
season.
could be your guys' good year, man. It could
Like
be.
this could be a year for them to at least
Bro.
whether it's break records or or players to break records or a franchise break a record or something like that or anything. Even if it's not Super Bowl quality, it's just better than nothing.
Well, dude, just a season ago, they were one game away from the Super Bowl.
I know,
Which is
they
crazy.
literally could have won, but then of course they got messed up by the Chiefs.
They got
which,
Mahomes.
They got Mahomes.
But
But,
the
I mean,
Titans basically have the same players from last season, and
Yeah.
they looked good, but like they won all their games like within 3 points, which those are heartbreakers for the other teams, especially the Vikings.
Yeah.
1 point, it's crazy.
It's crazy, but I mean,
A win's a win.
I definitely give them credit for just how much effort they've been putting,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Because, I mean, all the teams in the NFL, whether they have a losing record or a winning record,
Mhm.
winning season or losing season, like, they're still putting in effort. I mean, like, this is off topic a little bit, but I mean, look at Joe Burrow. This guy had a terrible season at the beginning. He was going to win his first game, as a Bengal.
No,
But then, of course,
I wouldn't say
Twitter-
season. I would just say season opener, really.
Season opener, yeah, I'm gonna say, for a season opener, he could have been 1-0. And that was a good game. He had a good start
That's
as a rookie.
that's on his kicker.
But it was, of course, his kicker. Pulls a hammy.
And
But
then he called the wrong leg, but
apparently,
Mhm.
so now going back with the Titans, they've been doing that now. Ever since that they saw that they got a big loss against the Chiefs last season in the playoffs, they're like now learning more and more and more of their mistakes that they made from the 2019 season, going in now into the 2020 season.
Yeah.
Which is good, because I'm happy that they looked at that. They made smart moves, even though I know some plays during the games, for these past 3 games for them, have been, very, what was it called, very scary because whether they're going to have a chance of getting a first down, a touchdown, or even the game winner.
Yeah.
But I mean, I give them credit, like I said, 100% because
They deserve all of it. They
Yeah,
deserve all the
they've
credit.
improved. They've basically improved. So, I mean, I'm just hoping that they'll learn from the mistakes of COVID, of their mistakes that they did outside of the business instead of in the business. I'd rather have them. Like, I wouldn't care if they lost this weekend. I mean, not this weekend, I'm sorry, next week against the Bills. I'd rather be happy knowing that they're going to play and not postpone.
Yeah, like
another game.
that's what it comes down to, bro. A lot of people look forward to this stuff. Like football
Yeah.
is their getaway from stress, work, high school, college, anything. That's their getaway from stress, and people look forward to this every year, including me, including you. The NFL
yeah.
season. That's one of the best things about America, man. And now that's even in jeopardy. Same thing with the NBA. Not as much as NFL, but a lot of people look forward to it, and everyone was in shock when they decided when that first case came out with Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, when they came out positive that threw everything into a loop, and that's when they suspended the season for about 4 years. I mean, 4 years, 4 months. Damn, 4 years is a long time. Hopefully it's gone by then. But you know what I'm trying to say, and
yeah,
they don't want to do that with the NFL. They're gonna lose a lot of money. They've already lost a lot of money, and they're still betting hard against themselves, thinking that they could play through this. And I hope they can, dude. I really do. They just got to be smarter, dude. That's there's no way around it. They just got to be smarter, and the way things are going, the Titans finally got no more positive tests, which is a good thing always.
And I'm just hoping they continue that for the rest of the weekend, including Monday and Tuesday itself.
Let's hope.
And then for the rest of the season,
that the cases of the NFL in general are kept to a minimum too. Because the less cases, the more games we have, and it just goes simple. It's down to that.
Oh yeah.
And
the less of a chance of someone dying.
Yeah, and just in general, less of a chance of you spreading it when you don't need to, because you're lucky to be playing football on a huge stage already. That's just in general, not even COVID. That's just you're lucky to be playing football at all. Like at a professional level, they're lucky to have a season at all. Everyone was questioning whether there would be a season or not this year.
And thankfully there is. I'm sorry.
And they gave the opportunity to let players opt out of this season, which is a respectful one, because players, they don't want to infect their family or loved ones. Last note: just be smart. This goes. I mean, I know no one in the NFL is going to see this, but just anyone who sees this in general, be smart with this current pandemic. Take it seriously, dude, because you never know if a family member of yours can get it. Like, you may not get it, but, a loved one of yours may. And, I mean, God, yeah. I'm not wishing anybody's family members get it. I'm just saying there's always a chance that it could happen to you, and if it happens to you, you got to be prepared for it. You got to take all the necessary steps to prevent it from happening to you or your family. Push your family to follow the simple rules too. Not even rules, just like safety protocols.
Yeah. And
yeah.
And just like another thing too, I mean, not only you're definitely putting yourself at risk 100%. Whether you're older or younger, or whether you're healthy or not,
you always have a chance to get it.
You're always gonna have a chance to get it, and like what he was saying, it's you have to be prepared for that, because if you were, or if someone in your family or yourself, like I said, gets it, you're gonna be staying in one room for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is not like the best feeling, because at the beginning of the year, people had to stay in. Like, I had to stay in for 2 weeks. Like, I didn't get it or anything, but just staying in general, before I graduated, it was just the worst feeling, because I had to be staying home for the rest of the school year.
Yeah.
Actually, it was more than 2 weeks, actually, my bad. But, it sucks. It's the worst thing ever, because it messes with you mentally, and emotionally, and especially physically as well. Because if anyone who watches this is an athlete, anyone can relate, knowing that it's hard, because as an athlete, we as athletes want to make sure we stay active and we stay healthy, and not all of us are able to access a gym, in public, or even access any kind of weights, or especially someone who's a runner or anything, a treadmill, that's something we can't access. Of course, we can always go outside and run, which obviously no one's going to run with the mask unless it's one of those training masks. But, no one in general is going to run with, a normal mask on their face, because already breathing it, just having to walk is already hard. And then just imagine having to run with that thing. It's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
So, just from all of this that I'm saying is just be prepared for anything that happens.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get it, good job. You're doing the protocols, and you're staying safe, and you're doing what is told to do. But if someone, whether it's your loved one or family member, be prepared for that, because they're going to be the ones having to stay in be quarantined for 2 weeks.
And you're not going to be able to see them.
And not only that, you're not going to see them. And it's also still going to mess with you mentally, physically, and emotionally. Yeah. Which is not a good thing, because that right there is already hard. Because if you don't see your loved one for a certain amount of time, it breaks your heart, because you wish you could see them. But of course, they're the ones who made the mistake of not being safe.
Yeah. I mean, we may not even be qualified to be talking about this, but we are anyways, because we care about our friends and our family. So, yeah. All right, Ayden, thanks for being on.
Thank you for having me.
And, well, yeah, man, if you ever want to come on my channel and just talk about anything, just let me know. I mean, I'm always down to make new content.
Yeah, of course. I'm always up for a good talk.
Yeah, man. And all right, well, whoever is watching this, thanks for watching, and I hope you come back to the channel to see more content. Not a lot like this, you know, this is just a straight up discussion, but you know, come back.
I've talked a couple times, but I mean, that's okay.
You know, I have more content coming on the way. Just look out for it. You know, look down in the description, subscribe to my other channels. And thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a good day. Peace.
Stay safe, y'all.